Hello students, in this session we are going to discuss about the Unit 8. The Unit 8 generally talks about the competency mapping. In this Unit 8, definitely will be very much useful to the individual employees and as well as the organization. There is no doubt in that. And the objectives followed the next introduction, and third one competency approach to the job analysis, and fourth one uses of competency approach in an organization, and the next thing is benefits of the competency approach and competency mapping and methods of competency mapping. So we'll discuss one by one. The objectives of learning this unit. After completion of this unit, the student should be able to understand the concepts of job analysis, and it is explained about the competency approach to the job analysis and describes about the meanings of competency mapping and various methods involved in that the same way, and appreciate the benefits of competency mapping and so on. And the introduction. The job analysis refers to the process of examining a job to identify and its component parts in the circumstances in which it is performed. The critical concern for you as a job analyst should be able to treat jobs as units of organization. And job analysis consists of two functions such as the job description and the job specifications, which are closely related to each other. The job description is a broad statement of the purpose, the duties and responsibilities of a job, and the job specification is a broad statement which specifies about the job holder, that his or her qualification, experience, required experience, etc. The present unit discusses the competency approach to job analysis and the concept of competency mapping. The competency approach to the job analysis. It is a skill and is a task or activity acquired for competency on the job. The competency in a skill requires knowledge, experience, attitude, and feedback. The performance assessment criteria clearly defined that acceptable level of competencies for each skill required to perform the job. The competency based on the job analysis, it involves the following steps. The one is identification of major job functions, and the two is identification of skills performed within each of the major job functions. The generation of several drafts to be reviewed by employer and employees and modified to accurately reflect the skills performed on the job, and the development of an occupational analysis chart. The chart is a two-dimensional spreadsheet chart displaying the major job functions and skills. Identification of performance standard for each skill using a competency-based rating scale, which describes various levels of performance. The uses of competency approach in an organization. The competency approach is the foundation upon which to build a variety of human resource development initiatives. This adaptable, flexible, and scalable tool has been used for the following benefits to the organization. It provides a systematic approach to planning and training. And the second thing is customized training delivery to the individual or else an organization. And third thing is evaluates suitability of training programs to promote job competence. And the fourth one is provides employees with a detailed job description. And next one is develops job advertisements, helps in personnel selection, assists in performance appraisal, targets training to skill that require the developments, gives credit for prior knowledge and experience. So these are all the competencies approaches in an organization. The benefits of the competency approach. There are different approaches to competency analysis. While some competency studies take months to complete and result in vague statements that have little relevance to people in the organization, but if done well, they provide the following benefits to the organization. What are the benefits, sir? First, you can able to increase the productivity. Second, go for that improved work performance. And third one, training that is focused on organizational objectives. And next one, employees know upfront what is expected of them. And the next thing is the approach builds trust between that employer or else employees and the managers. So these are all the strong points of this approach, that is requires interaction between the employer and the employee. The job analysis, it's a catalyst to meaningful discussion of job performance because the employer and employee have a common understanding of expectations. The competency mapping. The competency approach to job depends on competency mapping. The competency mapping is a process to identify key competencies of an organization and or a job and incorporating those competencies throughout the various processes. The job evaluation, training, recruitment of the organization. A competencies is defined as a behavior, that is communication and leadership, rather than a skill or ability. The steps involved in the competency mapping are presented below. The conduct of a job analysis by asking the incumbents to complete a position information questionnaire and everything else. It can be provided for incumbents to complete or used as a basis for conducting one-to-one interviews using the PIQs again. Using these results of job analysis, a competency-based job description is developed. It is developed after carefully analyzing the input from the represented group of incumbents and converting it to standard competencies. The competency mapping. The competency-based job description, mapping the competencies, can be done. The competencies of the respective job description become factor for assessment on the performance evaluation. Using competencies will help to perform more objective evaluation based on displayed or not displayed behavior. So taking the competency mapping one step further, one can use the results of one's evaluation to identify in what kind of competencies are facing that individuals need additional development or training. This will help in focus on training needs required to achieve the goals of the position and the company and help the employees develop toward the ultimate success of the organization. The methods of competency mapping. It is not easy to identify all the competencies required. to fulfill the job requirements. However, a number of methods and approaches have been adopted and successfully tried out. These methods have helped managers to a larger extent to identify and reinforce or develop these competencies both for the growth of the individual and the growth of the organization. In the following section, some major approaches of competency mapping have been presented. The first one is called Assessment Center. Assessment Center is a mechanism to identify the potential for growth, and it is a procedure, not location, that uses a variety of techniques to evaluate the employees for manpower purpose and decisions. It was initiated by American Telephone and Telegraph Company in 1960s for line personnel being considered for promotion to supervisory positions. As essential features of the assessment center, the use of situational tests to observe specific job behavior. Since it is with reference to a job, elements related to the job are simulated through a variety of tests. The assessor observe the behavior and make independent evaluation of what they have observed, which results in identifying strength and weakness of the attitudes being studied. Methods of competency mapping. First one is called group discussion. In these, candidates are brought together as a committee or project team with one or a number of items to make a recommendation on. Candidates may be assigned specific roles to play in the group, or it may be structured in such a way that all the candidates have the same basic information. The group discussion allows them to exchange information and ideas and gives them the experience of working in a team. In the workplace, discussions enable management to draw on the ideas and expertise of staff and to acknowledge the staff as valued members of a team. Some advantages of group discussions are: ideas can be generated, ideas can be shared, ideas can be tried out, ideas can be responded to by others. When the dynamics are right, groups provide a supportive and nurturing environment for academic and professional endeavors. These are the methods of competency. Some of the positive task roles of competencies mapping. These roles help in reaching the goals for more effectively. The first one is called Initiator. The second one is called Information Seeker. The third one is called Information Giver. And the fourth one is called Opinion Seeker. And fifth one is called Opinion Giver. And fifth one is called a Clarifier. And last one is called Summarizer. So Initiator recommends novel ideas about the problem at hand, new ways to approach the problem, or possible solutions not yet considered. Next, the information seeker. The information seeker always needs emphasize getting the facts by calling for background information from others. The information giver provides data for forming the decisions, including facts that derive from expertise. And the opinion seeker asks for more qualitative types of data, such as attitudes, values, and feelings, because it all talks about the psychological way. Opinion giver provides opinions, values, and feelings. Clarifier gives additional information, examples, rephrasing, applications about points being made by others. Summarizer provides a secretarial function. So, Some of the positive task roles and positive maintenance roles are there. What are the positive maintenance roles? These become particularly important as a discussion develops and opposing points of view begin to emerge. The social supporter rewards others through agreement, warmth, and praise. Harmonizer mediates conflicts among group members. And third one, tension reliever informally points out the positive and negative aspects of the group dynamics and calls for change if necessary. Energizer stimulates the group to continue working when the discussion flags, and the compromiser shifts his own position or an issue in order to reduce conflict in the group. And last one is called a gatekeeper, the smoothest communication by setting up procedures and ensuring equal participation from members. So these are all the positive maintenance roles. So once again we'll do the revision, see it. The competency mapping talks about, starts from the objectives, introduction, competency approach to job analysis, the uses of competency approach in an organization, benefits of the competency approach, competency mapping, methods of competency mapping. So some of the objectives are there. This is called the introduction part of job analysis. The competency approach to the job analysis, the following ways, and the uses of competency approach in an organization. These are all the benefits of the competency approach. Particularly, it increases in their productivity, improved working performance, training that is focused on organizational objectives. The employees are empowered to become partners in their own performance development. Points of this approach is that it requires interaction between the employer and employee. So the job analysis is a catalyst to meaningful discussion of job performance because the employer and employee have a common understanding of expectations. This is competency mapping. With the competency-based job description mapping, the competencies can be done. The competencies of the respective job description become factors for assessment on the performance evaluation. Using competencies will help to perform more objective evaluations based on displayed or not displayed behavior. So taking the competency mapping one step further, one can use the results of one's evaluation to identify in what competencies individuals need additional development or training. This will help in focusing on training needs required to achieve the goals of the position and company and help the employees develop toward the ultimate success of the organization. And the methods of competency mapping. The assessment center method, the group discussion method, some of the advantages of group discussion methods, and the positive task roles of competency mapping takes from the initiator, information seeker, information giver, opinion seeker, opinion giver, clarifier, and the summarizer. And the positive maintenance roles, the following roles: social supporter, harmonizer, tension reliever, energizer, compromiser, gatekeeper. So these are all the ways you can able to understand that the concepts from the following aspects, particularly what is called a competency mapping, why it is needed and where it is needed, and everything else, right? Thank you.